like that. Woo!
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, Spotify, IR Radio, Twitter, TikTok, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe, all of our YouTube videos. Hit that notification bell, buy the subscribe button. Let's get it popping. All right, man. Listen, apologies the last couple of days, man. First day on Thursday after the game, I tend to watch a lot of these interviews, post-game interviews, and rewatch the actual game to kind of get some more clarity. I don't just put out a video, see who can do it the fastest. I like to get the most information possible before I put anything out because I want to give y'all the best quality videos on top. So if that means waiting an extra 24 hours or, 48 hours in my case, then that's what we'll do. Hell, we don't play again until Sunday, so ain't no rush. I meant to do it last night, but I got caught up with some other things, so that's why I'm up here early, top of the morning on the West Coast, where it's 8:30 right now. So we in here, bro. We out here. So for those that y'all know, you know what I mean, the Golden State Warriors lost at home to the Boston Celtics. You know what I'm saying? My man plays for keeps. Salute, BJ. Interesting fact, Steph Curry is 9-1 in playoffs with KD. And well, yep. We're going to get into all that, brother. Appreciate the time, man. So the Celtics take game one in Golden State, right? Make sure I got the score correct. I want to make sure I don't lead y'all astray. Give me a second, get this correct, get the score right. I think it was 120 to 108. Yeah, 120. I can't believe I forgot that. 120 to 108 last night. Well, I'm sorry, on Thursday night, the Boston Celtics defeat the Golden State Warriors. And it was really a back and forth game for the most part. It wasn't a game where really like either team dominated. Surprisingly, if I look at the team stats between the Boston Celtics and Golden State Warriors, they're actually pretty neck and neck. The Warriors shot 44% from the field. Boston shot 50%. The 3-point percentage from Boston was 51 to Golden State's 42. But other than that, they both had 39 rebounds. They both had the same amount of blocks. Steals were 7 and 8. Turnovers were close. Personal fouls were close, 13 to 16. Boston. So it was mostly a close, tight-knit game. It's just that Boston hit more shots than Golden State. That's what it kind of came down to from what I've seen. It wasn't really much more than that. Neither team really shut down the other. Both teams seemed to get in their spots for the most part, but it wasn't a situation where one team was just overpowered and just, punched out their lights, in this situation. That's not what happened. All right, so I want to make sure I get that clear. Y'all continue to hit that like button, y'all. Y'all continue to hit that like button, you know what I'm saying? Get the podcast out there, get the notifications out there, you know what I'm saying? Love and appreciate it. But did I think Boston was going to win this game? No. Now it's all about, and y'all know how I go, man. When I go with me, I always like to wait till game 3 until I say who's going to win the series. Why is that? Because the first game is a fill-out game. Basically, the teams play each other. They just try to fill each other out. They go out there just, try to test each other out. You know what I mean? And then the second game is the adjustment game. After you play the first game, you look back at game 1 and see what you did right and what you did wrong. If I'm Boston, you find out what you did right and see what you can continuously do to, keep that momentum. And if you look Golden State, you go back and look at the mistakes that you made, and then you can finally, capitalize that on game 2. And then game 3, that's another adjustment game for the losing team. And then after that, pretty much all the big adjustments are done. So that's why it's a good time for me to, think who's going to win the series in game 3. Now, we're going to go through the list of the keys of why Boston won, right? And why Golden State lost. Why did Golden State fumble the bag? How did Boston keep their momentum and keep their composure in a situation in Golden State where they have not lost all playoffs? Okay, so we got to look into all this type of stuff, y'all know, what I'm saying? Let's go with the Golden State Warriors first, the home team, the Dubs, you know what I'm saying, led by Mr. Steph Curry, who had 35 points, if I'm not mistaken. Make sure I got this correct. Make sure I got this right, man. I don't want to lead y'all straight in any situation. He had 34 points, okay? 34 points, 5 for 5, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He went 6 for 6 from the 3-point line starting off the game, bro. So that's who the Golden State Warriors were led by. So as great as Steph Curry did play, one of the problems that they had is that they were not managing Steph Curry's minutes. And when I mean that, I mean by Steve Kerr. See, I figured Steph Curry out, bro. Steph Curry is one of these players that you have to continuously let the flame flame up. You have to keep letting the flame go. You can't put out the fire. Meaning what? When Steph Curry gets hot, you can't be as a coach cut his water off. You can't take him out the game in pivotal moments. Okay, once he's hot, you got to continue let that flame burn. So if I'm Steph Curry and I have 21 points in the first half, if I'm 6 for 6 from the 3-point line in the first quarter, that means I'm hot. No one's going to be able to stop me. I have to leave him in the game, because if you take him out, basically what you're doing, you're taking his momentum out. You're taking his fire out. In basketball, as a basketball player, and this is an unwritten rule, when you're playing and you're cooking from the field, you don't take that player out. You keep him in the game to continuously keep him shooting, keep him going. Because when he sits down, what happens? He starts getting stiff. He starts, getting cold. And then he has to find a way to work himself back into the offense when he gets back in the game. So Steve Kerr left Steph Curry in for the first quarter, but then the second quarter, he took him out for like 5 minutes straight. Now, in my opinion, that's way too long. What he should have did, if I'm Steve Kerr, either you take him out for a couple minutes and then put him back in right away so he doesn't get too cold in the second quarter, or you don't take him out at all, you just let him play. Because remember, this is the finals. My star player can play more than 35, 36 minutes. Jimmy Butler, we saw him play 48 minutes in a game. So if I'm Steve Kerr, I'm not looking at like, I got to manage his minutes to the point I got to take him out. This is the NBA Finals. If your best player, Steph Curry, is getting hot, he's cooking, you leave him in the game, period. Okay? That's a bad decision by Coach Curry. Bad coaching by Curry. He should have never pulled Curry out early in the second half. He should have never pulled him out early in the second half or the second quarter plays for keep. That's a good point. But so they have to, that's one of the things that they did wrong. They did not manage Steph Curry's minutes correctly. So therefore, what you have is a guy in Steph Curry who did not score in the second quarter because he was stiff trying to find his rhythm. Now, what that also means is that other players have to step up. One of the players that did not step up, who should have stepped up more, who only had 9 points, was Mr. Jordan Poole. Now, I like Jordan Poole. I like his game a lot. I think Jordan Poole is a very great attacker of the rim. He's very elusive. He's very athletic. He's sneaky athletic, I'm sorry. He can shoot the 3 ball. He's fearless. He's a gamer. He was actually the best player, you can say, in the Denver series, the first round. He's been great all season. I thought he should have been the most improved player of the year because Ja Morant, to me, is not a guy that improves. He's a guy that's already a star. So Jordan Poole has made major strides coming from the G League just last season. So he's really their third, quote-unquote, splash brother. They're going to try to, I think he's 26 years old, so they're going to try to, probably re-sign him this offseason and have him be a part of the Warriors culture for years to come. So with Poole not performing the way we know him to perform all season is why you had what you had happened as well, because Golden State, when you got to continue to score. There's teams out there who get their momentum off of defense, like say a Boston Celtics or a Miami Heat or, one of those teams where they get their energy off of defense. They start off the game by playing great defense. And then there's those teams that can play defense like Golden State, but their excitement at home especially comes from their offense. So when you got guys like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins scoring at a high clip, it's pretty much damn near impossible to beat that team. So Jordan Poole, him having 9 points, I saw, those guys being physical with him. I saw Derek White being physical with him. I saw Peyton Pritchard being physical with him. And then I seen Marcus Smart rip him, I think, one possession. So they were trying their best to be physical with Jordan Poole, make them feel him, make them, have contact with him. That's what the game plan was, and it worked. I think he went like 2 for 9 from the field. So that's like another, extra 15 points you're missing from Jordan Poole. You know what I'm saying? Then you go into the fourth quarter, right? The Warriors go on a 17, or I'm sorry, the Boston Celtics go on a 17-0 run. Think about this. The Celtics go on a 17-0 run in pivotal moments in the fourth quarter. This goes back to, again, Steve Kerr's coaching, because they made the run when Andrew Wiggins and Steph Curry were on the bench. They took them out in the third quarter. They were up 80-92. The Warriors were up 80-92 going to the fourth, and that's when, Curry and Wiggins were out the game. Then here comes Boston. Jaylen Brown goes on a 7-0 run by himself. Then here comes Al Horford. I'm sorry, here comes Derek White with two threes. And then here comes Al Horford, 2 threes to take the lead. So by then, it's a 17-0 run. Golden State's trying to stop the bleeding, but it's just becoming too much because you've already taken out Steph Curry for a number of minutes because you think he needs rest. My thing is, again, if I'm the superstar player, I can play almost 48 minutes. Steph Curry should have had more than 40 points that game. Anybody in the chat that disagree, go ahead and you put in the comments right now. But Steph Curry should have ended with somewhere around 40, 45 points. So for the fact that he ended with 35 points tells me he didn't play enough. And you can't worry about him possibly getting hurt because, again, if I'm hot and I'm cooking and the momentum is in my favor, I have to roll with it. Steve Kerr. Okay? So now, going back to Boston, them going on that 17-0 run won them the game. Golden State had control of the entire game. Most of the game, they had control of the game. But Boston goes on pretty much one of the craziest runs I've ever seen in NBA basketball of watching it in my last 15 to 20 years. They had guys on that bench who just couldn't miss. Peyton Pritchard hit 2 big threes. Derek White hit 2 big threes. Al Horford hit 2 big threes. Jaylen Brown went 7-0 run by himself, and that was the game, and Golden State could not stop the bleeding. And when you constantly see guys on the other opposing team hitting shot after shot, tough shots, it takes your momentum away. So why Golden State couldn't stop the bleeding actually is understandable, right? So that's all I got to say about Golden State. But let me go into the winning team, Boston, right? I have to say this about Boston. I got to be very honest. You can tell that the Boston Celtics have a very, very close group. I saw that very early in the game. You can say that they were very, very equipped together. You know what I mean? Marcus Smart, there's a soundbite y'all can go back and watch where he was directing Robert Williams, I believe, how to defend Steph Curry, basically saying that you can't, if you're getting picked, because Marcus Smart was getting picked all through the first quarter. That's how Steph Curry continuously was just going off. What the Warriors did, and it was a great plan, was when you have a defender like a Marcus Smart and you pick him, then he's at your advantage, because now what happens is he gets behind you on the pick. Because if you get picked, you get picked. The job of a picker is supposed to get the ball handler open. So now that Steph Curry is coming off the pick, Robert Williams, the big, or Al Horford, whoever, who's the big, who's guarding the guy who's the picker, if he doesn't come up and challenges Steph Curry's shot, then it's pretty much you're at Steph Curry's demise. So that's how he had 6 threes in that first quarter, because Steph was on a mission and he couldn't miss. So when I saw Marcus Smart, he said that you have to come up. If I'm Robert Williams, I have to come up and contest that 3 more, use my length. That way Steph Curry's not comfortable. I saw, okay, this team is, Marcus Smart is very, very knowledgeable of the game. But then I see guys like Jason Tatum having 13 assists throughout the game. Even though he had a bad shooting night, 3 for 17, he had 13 assists, meaning what? He was finding other ways to impact the game. You know what I'm saying? That's growth. And then you got guys on the bench clapping it up when Boston Celtics hit a shot, make a great defensive play, getting on the floor, diving for balls. Like, that's all team camaraderie, right? That brings a team closer together one by one. Soccer Update, salute, brother, salute. Um, so Boston, again, they're a very close knit team, and you have to, give them credit for that. But one thing I saw from them that was very, very impressive, they stayed the course. Now, again, going back to my point, the Warriors are, they were, I believe, if I want to say 9-0 at home. So they were at 9-0 at home. So that was basically the only undefeated team left in the playoffs. Usually, when you go down like how Boston went down, a team that was not ready, they could have easily, just went home and quit. And just be like, oh, we get them next game, we get them game two. It's still early in the series. It's hard to play when you from behind, especially in somebody else's home court like Golden State. So you have to give them credit for, staying the course. You have to give them credit for when they were down in the third quarter going to the fourth, they didn't panic. You have to give them credit for it when Steph Curry hit them threes in the first quarter. They didn't, held their head. You have to give them credit that Jason Tatum, even though he went 3 for 17, he found other ways to affect the game. And I feel like that was coaching from Ime Udoka. I think Ime Udoka, him being the coach of this team, has really put them at ease in a lot of situations and a lot of, assignments. Because I don't feel like Brad Stevens, their old coach, could get them through this. I don't think that Brad Stevens was a tough enough coach. He was very knowledgeable of the game, but he didn't have the knowledge to really match his intensity. Right. In these type of situations, the playoffs are tough, man. The finals are tough. You got to have guys who are going to be able to stay the course no matter what. So I have to give Ime Udoka credit for leading this team. You know what I mean? They hit timely shots. Boston hit a lot of timely shots. Okay. Like I said, the role players, if I go back into the stats, let me look into the statistics right now for Boston. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in double figures. They had Al Horford with 26, Jaylen Brown with 24, Marcus Smart with 18, Derek White with 21, and Jason Tatum with 13. So that tells me that the ball was moving. That tells me that everybody was trying to eat. That tells me that they were unselfish with the ball. Now, Ime Udoka, y'all know, if y'all don't know, that Ime Udoka, he was an assistant coach under Greg Popovich, the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. Now, we all know that Greg Popovich is one of the greatest coaches of all time. In my opinion, he's probably top two. It's him, Phil Jackson, Red Auerbach. Okay? So if Ime Udoka was the coach, or he's assistant coach under Greg Popovich, he played under Greg Popovich, that's going to translate to him, the team that he's coaching. When I watch Boston play, they move a lot without the ball. They do a lot of ball movement. They're a very tough-nosed team, mentally and physically, same as the Spurs, and they play together, and they're unselfish. So that's all keys from Greg Popovich's system. Same thing with Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, y'all know Steve Kerr was under Greg Popovich's tutelage as a player and a coach on the USA team. So these are two coaches that are under the same tree. So it makes sense of how their game style is. But I saw Boston, they hit a lot of timely shots. Right. And I was just looking at, Boston, they shouldn't get in a 3-point match with Golden State. I don't believe they should. But when you have the ball movement that they did, it puts your team into good situations to hit shots. Right. So that's why Boston, what they did, hitting those shots, really paid dividends. And now we go, of course, to the 17-0 run, man. Like, that's when, things just, took a bad toll. I just mentioned it a few minutes ago. With Boston, I mentioned that a few minutes ago with Golden State. What they did, they allowed Boston to come back in the game. They didn't stop the bleeding. They tried to call a timeout when Jaylen Brown went on a 7-0 run by himself. But then, you had other guys that came in. That came in big. Golden State did not close out on shooters. And I don't know what's going on with Steve Kerr not playing GP. I mean, he just got cleared for his arm. You should at least test him out. I don't know why they're not playing Jonathan Kuminga, but I expect them to make a change in game two. right? I expect the Warriors to make a change in game 2. I expect them to have Jonathan Kuminga get more minutes. I expect um, GP to come in and, bother Derek White, because those are the guys that killed him. Jaylen Brown and Derek White were the guys that killed him. Al Horford did his damage after the damage had been done. So you need to bring in a dude like a Jonathan Kuminga to get on Jaylen Brown, who's 6'7", because Kuminga's athletic, he's long, he's energetic. Bring him in and let him take some responsibility off of Otto Porter and Iguodala if I'm Steve Kerr, because Iguodala is not the defender he used to be, man. You got to throw Kuminga out there and let him play defense on Jaylen Brown. And then if I'm Gary Payton, I can guard Derek White. GP can guard Derek White, so put some pressure on him. He's itching to get back out there. So I expect those adjustments to be made by Golden State. Now, as far as Boston, the keys they have to continuously do. Number one, what's going to happen? Tatum's going to have a good game. And this happens with Tatum every series, man. He'll have a bad shooting night like he did in game 1 and come back and follow with like a great shooting night. That's just how he is. That's why he's not a superstar to me, because he's inconsistent. But that's what you have. If you're positive for Boston, look forward to, like, he's going to have a good game, right? That's not really an adjustment. That's just something that's just going to happen if I'm a betting man. And I also think that, Boston has to stop. They have to limit their turnovers. Don't let Golden State dictate your gameplay. Continuously attack the basket, continuously be aggressive on defense, on the perimeter, and stick to the game plan. There's really not too much Boston has to do different. Honestly, they play the way they wanted to play. Playing defense on Jordan Poole, limiting him, making Klay Thompson into somebody that, wants to drive the basket instead of coming off threes. That's another thing for Golden State. They got to stop letting Klay Thompson just dribble the ball. He should be coming off of screens, back screens, cross screens, double pin down screens. That's how he gets off. But when you try to put Klay Thompson into like a off the dribble, ball handler and try to score like a Jason Tatum, that's not his game. And it's going to tire him out. If you let him come off of screens and play more of his natural position, then it's going to give him more energy on defense to guard whether it's Jaylen Brown or Derek White or whoever. So my prediction for game 2 is that Golden State comes out blazing. I think Golden State will win game 2 because they got no choice. Boston's going to play hard. They're going to try to get game 2 as well. But I think Golden State is going to actually not blow it this time. They're pretty much probably kicking themselves in the head after watching film that, we know what we did wrong. We took our foot off the gas. Steve Kerr did not leave Steph Curry in the game long enough. And these other role players are going to come with it. I think Jordan Poole is going to come with it. I think Klay Thompson is going to even have a better game than he did in game 1. And I think Wiggins is going to be, he's going to be good enough. Okay. And then I think Golden State's going to also cut off the water of some of those other role players on Boston that got off, guys like Derek White, guys like Peyton Pritchard, Al Horford. I think they're not going to have as good a game in the next game as game 2 or game 1. Tune in Sports says Celtics in 7. Okay. If it goes 7, then I understand why you pick Boston. If it goes 7 games, I understand why you would pick Boston, because Golden State had this problem just in the Cleveland series. Those ghosts are still there, and Play for Keeps. My man Play for Keeps said that KD, they're 9-1 in the playoffs. Without him, they dropped 8-11. So that's a stat that's pretty much a lot of people out here. What am I saying? That's pretty much, the big stat right now going on, that, the heat that Kevin Durant, the Warriors are 1-9 in the finals. Now you guys got to pay attention to something. Who are the Warriors playing in that finals? They're playing Kawhi Leonard. I tell y'all all the time, bro. I tell y'all Kawhi Leonard is that guy. He is the best player in the league when healthy. but y'all gonna see that next year. Um, but the Warriors, like I said, do they need Kevin Durant? No, because they won without him. Would it help if they had him? Yes, because what KD does when all else fails, and you need a bucket, Kevin Durant's one of those guys. You just give him the ball and he just get out the way and let him do his thing. You know what I'm saying? If Steph Curry can't do that, you got to run so much play action for that dude to get him open. Kevin Durant got the length and the size where he doesn't have to get, screened hundreds of times to get open. Just give him the ball and let him do his thing. So, yeah, it would be a help to have Steph Curry there. But other than that, I have Kevin Durant there. But other than that, bro, they've won without him. And when I'm looking at KD, bro, like you ain't done nothing without Steph Curry. So really, Steph Curry's in the driver's seat right now. I don't think it's a time for people to ask, what can Steph Curry do without Kevin Durant when Kevin Durant they got blitzed in the first round against this same Boston team. I'm pretty sure that Steph Curry and the Warriors are gonna win at least one game. Let me go into some of these comments though. Two in Sports said Celtics in 7. Melo Riley said, "Hey nigga, why was you talking about my mom a few days ago?" Bro, I was I was just talking trash, bro. But no, I was good with you, man. I was basically saying with KD, man, like I don't want to hear about KD right now. That dude he's not in the playoffs right now. He got waxed. He said where that Heat pedigree at. It was there, bro. And I'm pretty sure you was holding on to your helmet when Jimmy Butler shot that ball. He literally willed that team by himself, bro. By himself with one leg. I think we can all agree that Jimmy Butler's a better player than Jason Tatum after that series. But y'all ain't gonna admit that. Y'all ain't gonna admit that. Yeah, Marcus said I capped. What did I cap on, bro? What did I cap on? Last 10 NBA finals are 1-9 without him, bro, and they last us. Yeah, but Melo, that's more about who they were playing, though, bro. It wasn't just Golden State just needs KD. It was the fact that they were playing a great team in Toronto. And then, you know what I'm saying, I told y'all Kawhi Leonard was the best player on that floor. So it ain't no shame losing to him. This is the same dude. Kawhi Leonard has the highest winning percentage in NBA history, bro. It's no shame losing to Kawhi Leonard. I still feel like the Warriors can win without KD because they've done it before. But yeah, it's helpful to have him there. Only way Boston win in 7, they have to steal another game in their house, which will be game 7. So I like my prediction. Yeah, I think that it could happen too in sports if they can get I'm gonna drop the link so y'all can come if y'all want to. That would not be too far fetched, bro. Boston just proved they can win in Golden State on their home floor, so it's not a bad prediction that they can win. You know what I'm saying? Hey Melo, did y'all clear up that? I don't mean to put your business out there, bro, but did you and Ty clear that up, bro? I heard that live. I hope y'all cleared that shit up, man. But Draymond told us they don't need KD, so we gonna see, bro. Draymond 2 for 12, Clay with 15. That's cool as a third option, but not as they not being the Celtics like that. Yeah, Draymond, he played the worst out that game, bro. He didn't play well, so he gotta play better. Let me open him, man. What's good,
So,
dog?
yeah, I was gonna say, do you think Draymond can play better, man?
Oh yeah, bro.
Because at
Yeah,
least when they
he the glue.
at least
He the glue
PJ,
to
when
that
they played,
team.
yeah, when they played the Heat, PJ, at least PJ, you had to respect PJ Tucker when he shot the ball. Now the Celtics, they don't even have to come out on Draymond, man. Just think about that. You had to respect.
Oh, you cut out, Melo.
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, I can hear you now, bro.
Yeah, I was saying. Yeah. Hello.
Cut out. Go
Can you
ahead, go
hear me?
ahead.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
go ahead.
saying at least the Celtics had to check PJ Tucker. He can shoot, but they don't have to do that with Draymond Green. So how is he gonna score?
So if you look at the shots Draymond missed, bro, a lot of them shots were wide open. They
But I don't
weren't
think
that
they did that on purpose though.
Draymond can score, man. Remember, just a few years ago, like in the finals, bro, he was averaging damn near 20 points a game. It's just that his role changed with Golden State because they got so much offense. The problem was happened with Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is supposed to carry the load after Steph Curry did what he did in the first quarter. That's how the Warriors are. Steph Curry starts to swing, you know what I'm saying? At the beginning of the game, here comes Klay Thompson, here comes Jordan Poole with the knockout. But since Jordan Poole didn't show up and since Klay Thompson was average, that's what you saw, what you have. So Draymond really is not about him scoring. It's more about Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson doing their thing. What up, Bubba?
What's up, bro?
Melo, I think Melo disconnected. But what you think, man?
It was a great.
What you think of the game? What your analysis of the game?
I think it was a great game. You know what I'm saying? Even though I had Boston winning the series, I didn't think Boston was gonna steal game one.
I
They
love
they absolutely made a statement on the road.
watch it now.
They was able to. They shot more. They made more threes more than Golden State, which most of those threes came in the fourth quarter, which it was like they were daring them to shoot, and they made them pay. Al Horford making 6 3-pointers. What I'm saying, Jalen Brown being aggressive in the fourth. I feel like if Jalen was more aggressive throughout the whole game, Jason could have had a better night scoring the ball because most of the time he had to bring the ball up, making plays. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he wasn't even aggressive. There was a play that he was posting up Steph Curry, and I don't know. I thought he was gonna go to work, but he passed the ball, and Marcus Smart had a tough three, but I felt like he was gonna post Curry up and take him to the cup, but he didn't do that. So maybe somebody will argue that because it's the NBA Finals and the pressure was catching up to him. So we're gonna see what he's gonna do in the next games, but I doubt that he's gonna have a bad shooting night like this. Shooting 3 for 17 is not acceptable, but his teammates came up for him, which what I'm saying, helped him.
So
Now, go
go
ahead, bro.
ahead.
I'll,
Let
I'll
me
start. Okay,
let, let me
Steph.
let me let me address Dejan Mercy if I let you go.
Sure.
Dude, how can a healthy Giannis be better than a healthy Kawhi when Kawhi beat him? Kawhi beat Giannis in the finals or in the conference
Conference
finals.
finals, yeah.
So what evidence do you prove to say that Giannis is better than Kawhi? What evidence other than Kawhi ain't been playing? Go ahead.
Now in the first quarter, Steph Curry was hot, making 6 3-pointers, which most of those shots were Boston was playing drop defense, what I'm saying, which the big either Robert Williams or Al Horford was, kind of backing down and giving him those open looks, even though the person that was guarding should have fought over the screen to contest the shot. That's how Steph Curry was able to knock down 3 shots, which you don't want to give Steph Curry those open looks because if you start giving them those open looks, it's going to be barbecue chicken. You know what I'm saying? The game's going to come to him so easily. And Golden State outscored the Celtics in the third quarter, 38-14, which, Steph Curry, after not scoring in the second quarter, he came in the third quarter and scored. He scored like 6. Let me see how many points he had in the third.
Yeah, they were up 80-92. Were you looking for that, bro? Honestly, all those what you said was facts. This is all I saw from game 4 or game 1 was basically Boston went off in that fourth quarter with that 17-0 run.
Right. And
That's all that happened.
they ended up scoring 40 to Golden State 17, which they made up for the points they didn't score in the third quarter. But that 17-0 run really powered them, And at that moment, it was like it's too late, Now, somebody said that was bad coaching from Steve Kerr. I don't think it's bad coaching. I think it was bad decision making from Steve Kerr, because you got to think
Okay.
about it. His team was up 12, 13 points. So if you sit Steph Curry down for a couple minutes, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. I mean, he didn't anticipate that Boston was going to go on a 17-0 run, which they did.
So yeah, that's all really like I was basically saying earlier. What happened was they hit timely shots and they stayed the course. Boston showed poise in times of they could have certain turmoil. And that's how Boston is. When you give Boston an opportunity, like they're kind of underdogs, they're a weird team. They come out blazing. They seem to play better, kind of like the Clippers. When you count them out, that's when they'll surprise you. But when they have the momentum and they're supposed to win, they drop the bag. That's what
Right.
I've noticed about Boston. So that's an inconsistent thing, but I mean that's what works for them. But as far as what you said, bro, like all you said was pretty much facts. Um, but that run happened when Wiggins and Curry was on that bench. So if you have them on the bench and I'm Steve Kerr, you gotta have at least one of those guys to stop the bleeding, because no
Yeah.
one from Iguodala to Jordan Poole is having a bad shooting night. Klay Thompson couldn't really get off. Kevin, like those guys couldn't score. You're putting them in a bad situation where um, you're asking for Boston to go on that huge run. And if I'm Steph Curry, he didn't play. He played like I think 40 minutes. Jimmy Butler
38.
played. Yeah, he played 38 minutes. You can play him 42, 43 minutes. And you probably would have had a different ball game because you would have them extra few minutes. But let me go into some of these comments. Tuna Sports said Jason Tatum didn't even play good, and they was able to blow. I want to address that. So appreciate that comment, bro. So this is why I'm not worried about that, because I've seen JT do this a lot. He'll have at least one or two games where he shoots bad from the field. He shot bad from the field last series. Shot 35% that whole series. And if I'm looking at Golden State, they got enough weapons where they can counteract Boston's scoring. So you can't look at Golden State like any other team. Like Jordan Poole he shot the ball bad. He's going to shoot better. Klay Thompson shot mediocre. He's going to shoot better. So you got to look at it like from that angle as well. Like Golden State didn't have a great shooting night. And if I look at the team statistics, Boston shot better from the field than Golden State.
Yeah, and
Their
better
role
from the
players,
three as well.
exactly. So their role players came. So really Boston had more of the higher shooting range. So if Golden State matches that, then you have a situation where Golden State will beat them. I'm telling you, game 2, I'm expecting for Golden State to come out blazing and not lose the lead this time. Dayon Marcus said, "Come on, bro, Giannis was at it." See, this is where excuse making coming. I thought he was the MVP. Wasn't he the MVP that year?
He was.
What did you? And be honest, Bubba, did you hear people saying Kawhi was done when they lost those first 2 games? The Raptors they're gonna get beat by the
Yeah,
Bucks.
people were like, it's over.
So what? I don't want to hear nothing about it was Giannis was at his peak. They had a 2-0 lead, and Kawhi Leonard then put that damn wall around him,
They
and he
walked
couldn't do
them
nothing.
down.
Walked him down 4 straight games. So until Giannis can prove that he can beat Kawhi Leonard at his own game, I don't want to hear Giannis is better than Kawhi, because he can't do as much as Kawhi. He's not as skilled as Kawhi. He's not as fundamental as Kawhi. He's more athletic. But he's not a better basketball player than Kawhi Leonard, bro. Come on, man. But Tuna Sports said a confident Derek White is what Boston needs. That was the big difference. That was the thing that really surprised me, because Derek White, he kind of picked this game up in the last series in Miami. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I started seeing him being very confident, and that comes from, again, giving them, like with that Spurs system. Everybody that comes from that Spurs system seems to always play big in these type of moments. Sometime point in their career, they seem to show up under that Greg Popovich system.
Yep.
So that kind of came out of nowhere, but he was big for them last game. He had like a contested shot.
Yeah, all his threes were contested.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, where'd this come from? So,
And Al Horford also surprised me. 6 threes. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Al Horford, he's one of those guys that he'll have at least one game where he goes off like that, but he's not going to be a guy that's going to have another game like that. He's
Yeah.
just more of a he's a glue guy. He's just gonna be there just to, what I'm saying, fill in the gaps. But he don't want to put the ball on the floor. He just wants to stand outside and shoot threes. And I don't think Boston or Golden State did a good enough job in that fourth quarter, especially on closing out on shooters.
Yeah, they were
And what?
kind of daring them to shoot the three.
Yeah, I don't think um they got lazy, man. And when you look up, it was like they made that run within like first 2 3 minutes of the fourth.
Right.
So that's just a lack of effort. That's just, what I'm saying, a lack of motivation, a lack of heart. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. It wasn't nothing more than that. And he said, Dayon Martin said, why we give niggas like Kawhi praise? And he didn't. That's the problem, Dayon Martin. That's incorrect. Because just last season, let me ask you a question. And you gotta come in here sometime, bro. Because I like what you be saying, but you gotta come in here. What did Kawhi and the Clippers, if he was there last year, where would they be? Would Phoenix have beat them? Was he not the best player in the Western Conference before he got hurt? So let's not act like Kawhi Leonard has been hurt since 2019. Only reason he did not get the praise he deserved last year because he got hurt, and the Clippers were on their way to the finals. My man Chris, my man Rico's up in here. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. He's a Warrior fan. I'm gonna post a video in here actually right now. Um, This guy I follow, his name is TheRealEleezy. I'm gonna put him in the comment section right now, so y'all can check him out. He's a Warrior fan, but he broke down the game perfectly on what happened. And I like to give people credit for saying breaking down the game. So I'm gonna put his video in the chat. I want y'all to go check him out. He has a lot of good content and a lot of good information of how the Warriors are probably gonna win and what they did wrong in game one. So I'm gonna put that in the chat right now. Y'all can check out his video. Um, Let me ask you another question, bro. What are the keys for Golden State to win game two?
The keys for them is, Boston just showed you that if you dare them to shoot threes, they can make a great number of them. So I think they should do a very good job at closing out on the 3-point shooters and not letting them find your confidence, because that's all they needed, that confidence to knock down threes. If you think they can't shoot with you, you're being wrong. And
Mm.
I think, like you said, Steph Curry should play more. I believe Steph Curry could have scored 40 points as well if he had played more minutes. But maybe the coach was scared that maybe he was going to get injured or something like that. That's why he put him out early in the fourth. He didn't start him in the fourth. So I feel like Steph Curry should get a lot more minutes in game two than he did in game one.
No, that's facts, and you can't. And that's exactly what happened. Because what would other reason be to take a guy that hot out the game?
Right.
Because you know what I mean. So Steve Kerr needs to get out and say like, "Oh, I'm afraid of him getting hurt." Like you're thinking of the glass half empty instead of half full. Instead of thinking that my guy's having a great night, let me continue to ride with him. You're thinking that he's gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Nothing ain't even happened yet.
Right. And Jordan Poole he wasn't. And I noticed something about Jordan Poole. If you constantly pick him up from full court and you force him to pass the ball, you on him constantly. When he gets to half court, he starts launching those long threes, which if you're a Boston, those are the kind of shots you want him to take, because those are not high efficient shots. I don't care what anybody says. Those are not just good shots. Now, if you're Steph Curry, you can make those shots. You can make some of those shots. Say if you're Damian Lillard, you can make some of those shots. But Jordan Poole, you got to get closer to the 3-point line and start shooting from there. You can't just get to half court and start launching them from there.
Yeah, he thinks he's Steph.
Right.
I think Jordan Poole thinks he's Steph. He's not. I mean, your strength is to, um, Use your handle to get to the. You're more actually faster with the ball. My boy Rico said this yesterday. Chris Mastero, he said that Jordan Poole is the fastest dude with the ball in his hands in the league.
Right.
So why are you stopping your own momentum by shooting them long, inefficient threes when you can easily be Peyton Pritchard, Derek White off the dribble? See what they were doing. Pritchard, and there was a I think in the third or fourth where Pritchard was like trying to body pull off the ball and be physical with him, and then Poole was literally looking at the ref was like, oh, you ain't gonna call the foul. So once you start doing that, then that's when you start getting in players' heads.
Right.
Because
Right.
you remember Poole was just in the G League last year. So this is all brand new for him. All this
Mhm.
stuff that's happening, he's getting a lot of success very fast. The most improved player of the year, Golden State being the talk of the playoffs, them going to the finals. Like this is all new weight on his shoulders.
Yep.
So you got a guy like annoying pests like Peyton Pritchard and Derek White and Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart. Right.
It's like, man, like it's like, okay, well, this is different. But I expect Jordan Poole because he's a gamer, he's a competitive dude. And with the help of his guys like Steph Curry, Clay, Andrew Wiggins, and then followed by Draymond Green, I feel like it'll be enough around him as well as his interior, his competitiveness, where he'll be able to overcome all that stuff. Let me go into some of these comments.
Yeah.
Chris, my man Rico said, man, this is in the line. They boy need to play those boys all night. Yep. This is the finals. You gotta play these guys, man. You can't worry about anything else. Steph is the best conditioned athlete of all. He can run. That's another thing.
That's facts.
Why are we acting like this dude? And the Warriors as a team is in great condition. So why does he play? I don't want to hear this about, oh, he can't play more than 40 minutes when we just saw Jimmy Butler do it with a bum leg. He played 48 minutes in game 7 and played 46 minutes in game 6.
Game 6. Yep.
So you mean to tell me that light-skinned, narrow bone, green-eye gringo can't play the whole game? Put him out there and let him rock, man. My man LeVar Johnson, welcome to the channel, bro. He said, I think Poole's a little bit overrated.
I mean, Poole had his success, most of his success in the Denver series, which the Denver series, they didn't really play tough defense as Boston is playing right now. So I feel like he kind of got away with that.
I think I wouldn't say overrated. What I will say, like I said, a lot of success very fast, and that can put you in the light where you're up against players who are the cream of the crop and make you look overrated. But I think Poole is properly rated. I think he can be a starter on pretty much any team. He's your third option on a championship, third or fourth option on a championship team. He's an elusive scorer, somewhere between 15 and 20 points a game, but he's still learning. He's still developing. I mean, is it fair to say he could have been the most improved player this year? Because I think that's where we rate him at right now.
Right.
He's not Steph Curry. Yeah, he's not Steph Curry. He's not him. If you're talking about overrated, yeah, he's not him. But as far as his impact to the game, like he's gonna get re-signed by the Warriors. He's a very, very he's one of their best offensive players. And LeVar said he don't think he's gonna be a non. I think he's gonna be a factor. I think once they start getting Klay Thompson going, once they start getting Andrew Wiggins going more and more, that's going to open up opportunities for Jordan Poole to do what he do. All he has to do is play his game. He can take Peyton Pritchard off the dribble. He can take Derek White off the dribble. Marcus Smart be a little bit of a challenge, but Smart is not the primary defender on Poole. He has to worry about Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Tuna Sports said, nah, Darius Garland deserve most. I had Darius Garland in the picking too. I said either him, Darius, or DeJounte Murray. Those are my 3 picks. But yeah, Darius was good too. I like Darius.
Yep.
Before I end the live in a little bit, bro, who do you got for game 2? And why?
Obviously, I got Golden State for game 2. I feel like they're going to make the necessary adjustments, to win that game. Because if you lose that game, you will probably lose this series going into Boston. Not saying that they're going to lose the series if they lose game two, but it's not great to put yourself in that hole. You just got to come out, play hard, and take care of business, and even up the series and try to go to Boston and steal a game on the road as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think Boston. I think Golden State wins game two just by the simple fact that they have to win, like you said. Like it's no choice. It's too much money in this basketball for them to lose another game like that. This series will be going 6 games at least. At least the
Yep.
NBA would love it for it to go 7, but this series will go 6. No doubt about it. What you want to say?
He said Golden State winning by 15.
Yeah, that's my dude Rico. Um, they will be winning game 6, or game 2 on Sunday. I just think that people, I think what it is was they're pretty much looking at today like, man, we let an opportunity go where we have to extend the series even longer. Because Golden State, make no mistake about it, they'd rather finish this series early. They
Yeah.
don't want to have to go through a long series with They don't want to have to go through a long series with this Boston team. I think Boston wants to go through a long series with Golden State, but I don't think Golden State wants to deal with that. So when you miss opportunities like that to close out games, then you're putting pressure on them. You're putting pressure on them to have a longer series, and you don't want to do that if you're Golden State. You want to get them out the way, because if you give Boston any type of confidence with that coaching, Ime Udoka, with them pep talks he be having with that team, I can only imagine the seriousness and the focus they have, you know what I'm saying, in team meetings and pregame talks and post-game talk. Like you don't want to go through all that.
Right.
You want to get them out the way and destroy any confidence whatsoever. For y'all don't
Yeah.
know, I'll go ahead and follow that page on YouTube, man. TheRealEleezy. RealEleezy. I put the video in the comment section as well. He's a Golden State Warrior fan. He broke down the game entirely of what Boston did. Now he's one of them type of fans that, yes, he loves the Warriors. Yes, he's from the Bay Area, but he understands basketball. He will give a team credit when they deserve it, and he'll actually fully analyze the game, because a lot of times with us, with our favorite teams, we don't like to critique our teams. We like to give
Yeah.
them a pass. We like to, you know what I'm saying, let certain things go. He don't do that. He consistently gets on his team for comments or things that they didn't do. Like he'll say throughout the video, he'll say like, Golden State letting that 17-0 lead go. They're not running the players off the line for 3-point shots. Bad communication, like he'll say stuff like that to be fair, which I think is why he's a great person to look at for this situation. Celtics got the best coach in the league. I don't know about that.
In the playoffs, yeah. But in the regular season, I'm going for Ty Lue.
Yeah, there's a few coaches I put over him. It's just that he has a great team, because you gotta remember Boston was already a great team. All what happened was Ime Udoka elevated them on a higher level, because remember the Celtics went to the conference finals twice with this same core.
3 times.
Well, yeah, now 3 times with this team, with this league, or this year. But they were already a great team. You know what I mean? They were already a great team. They had, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Al Horford were already together. They were already a close-knit team.
Yeah.
So Ime Udoka is a great coach, but I can name a few coaches better than him. Ty Lue, Eric Spoelstra, Greg Popovich. He doesn't got the team, but I hear what you're saying. Ime Udoka definitely, he's gonna definitely have his respect next year.
Oh yeah. As a
Tune in
first year
sports.
coach, getting your team to the finals, yeah, that's respect.
Yeah, tune in sports is all good, bro. Yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow, man. I'll be back in the morning with my partner, so y'all can definitely call in. and we can chop it up. But hey, man, appreciate you coming on, bro. I'll see you tomorrow, Bubba.
All right, bro. Peace.
All right, peace. All right, y'all. That's conclusion of the podcast. All right, appreciate y'all coming in. You know what I'm saying? Talking, chopping up with your boy. With that being said, you know what I'm saying? We'll be back tomorrow morning at, I believe, what time? 9:15 a.m. sharp Pacific Standard Time. That's 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's on every Saturday, 9:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, every Sunday with my partner, Rick Masters. Y'all are free to come in as well to talk and chop it up with us. Respectfully say, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull it out. Peace. Out here like swim.